Hey, and thanks for watching Eat Your Backyard, my YouTube channel, where I talk about all kinds of edible plants as well as beautiful tropical plants. If you're into that kind of thing, go ahead and subscribe. Okay, let's get right into it. So first, we're going to talk about the plant I recommend you start with. It's cool, it's novel, it's red. The second thing is, I'm going to demonstrate how to do that, how to grow this plant easily and very inexpensively indoors, and I think in a highly satisfactory way. And third, I am going to show you examples of the plant I am recommending, as well as a couple of others in their full-grown, delicious state. If you stay to the end of the video, I'll give you a special treat. Microgreens. What are microgreens? Well, they're types of plants, vegetables typically, that grow very rapidly and produce nutritious young growth copiously. And there are a lot of good examples of this. You can see I'm going into this Mylar bag, which I got at Seeds.now. Go ahead and look in the description for a link to that. If you use that link, you support the channel. This bag cost me less than a few dollars, and now I can keep my seeds in a nice, well-maintained, light-free, oxygen-free environment. Okay, so what we see here are all kinds of seeds. You see, I buy lots of these seeds because they're so inexpensive to get there. By the way, the links are in the description. However, the big idea is that they are preserved in a way that they are a higher guarantee of growing. Now, I have already planted this bag that was like $1.99. Like I said, link you can get in the description. But it has produced so much of this plant that I'm about to recommend, and that plant is Red Kale. That's right, microgreens Red Kale. This packet I have planted many plantings of already, and it is just a strong, prolific grower. It produces greens right out of the gate. It has survived even temperatures down into the 40s with no problem. And you can see for a very small amount of money, a couple dollars, you get so many seeds. And like I said, I haven't even used probably, a sixth of the seeds that were in this bag, and I'm still ready to go. So yeah, I recommend these. And we're also going to take a look at these, which are the beets, the dark red beets. And I've also had a lot of success with these, and we'll take a look at those. But this is what I really recommend for indoors. I think it's going to be the most gratifying for you, and also taste the best. It's a very earthy, very delicious flavor to this red kale. I love it so much. You'll find it in gourmet salads and so on and so forth, and it's just one of my very favorites. So easy to grow. All right, let's look at the method I use for growing this. That's so simple, anyone can do it. Step one. Well, the first thing is to get a small plastic rigid container. Now what I'm using here are yogurt containers for my favorite yogurt. And the only thing I really do is just use a meat thermometer. I just hold it securely so I don't poke anything, and I just poke a bunch of holes in the bottom of the container. And called superstition, but I like to get holes everywhere. And you repeat that action on both, however many containers. But you can see it's not that deep, maybe a few inches deep, a few inches wide. I like these dishes because they're firm, so they have a good structure. All right, I'll finish the next two, and then we'll go into the next step. Now the next step is to acquire some decent quality potting soil. I provide links in the description to the kind that I use. I grab it at a store, but you can also get it on Amazon, and that's what the link is. It's an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything extra to use it. It supports the channel. So this is the project that I'm recommending here. The red kale in the recycled containers is a project that you can redo this over and over and over and for so long and be eating healthy microgreens every morning. So simple. All right, so there you go. 3 little containers. Let's get them up on the grow table, and I'll show you how to get the seeds in there. Okay, so I was able to get my assistant Jack to help me with planting the red kale, which we love to do. So go ahead and sprinkle those around on top of the soil all around and in the middle. And you can see we've got about, oh, I don't know, 50 seeds here that we're putting in. So we're putting a good amount of seeds into each pot, and we know that as we plant it, the seeds are going to wash around in there. So you'll see all I'm going to do once Jack gets them all laid out around these pots is just going to stir up the soil, and then we'll go on to the final step. Alright, how do you like it?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Now they're positioned. I just kind of stir this up. The water is going to stir it all up anyway, but you really don't need to plant these deep at all. They're going to dig down. Okay, so I think it's most gratifying to keep them up kind of towards the surface, not make them fight through the soil. That's how I grow them. All right, now let's take these over, put a little drop of water in there, and we want to be careful. Then we'll put them up on the grow table, and I'll show you some examples of some full-grown ones. Okay, so we're putting in this water just ever so gently. I use this pinching technique of this hose, turn it on very low. And it's okay if you have so much water in there that it fills the cup, because if you have enough holes in the bottom, it's just going to drain out. But you want that soil to be completely saturated. Alright, that should be about right. You can see I put enough holes in there that the water drained out the bottom, and that's really what you want. I'd probably say I put about 10 holes in each one of these yogurt cups. Okay, so I've got a space already picked out on the grow table here. I'm just going to tuck it in here. I just tend to plant things all in a, bunch them together and try to remember, but don't do a very good job marking them. Okay, so there they are, and I'll just let them grow. And you can see I've got a couple other things here. These are actually papaya seeds, and this one doesn't have anything in it yet. Okay, now let's move on to showing you some examples of the full-grown microgreens. Red kale, red radishes. Two of the best microgreens you could possibly choose for your indoor growing. And if you look, they have that distinctive red spine down the center. And this growth here is from those exact same seeds. Just poured a handful of them in there, and they've grown beautifully. This is about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks of growth, and they're doing great. They get partial sunlight here. This is a south fence, so they don't get full sun. And the flavor of it is just fantastic, and that's why I'd recommend this over what looks like more hardy radish greens. And these are also very good. And the leaves actually have kind of a fuzziness, but I'm just trying that. I love it. It's definitely very different than the kale, but I just prefer the kale. Okay, special treat time. I'm going to show you a third type of microgreens that I absolutely love. They're by far the most flavorful. The carrot microgreen. Look at this. Same deal. So rich. Okay, now what are the... that's so good. That's so carroty. What are the advantages of growing vegetables like this for indoor growing? Well, first of all, they produce an instant result. Second of all, you can eat them right now. A pair of scissors and a little bit of concentration, and you have a salad. Now, it grows very quickly. It's a short-lived thing, and then as soon as they start to become boring or too big, you just dump them out and plant another one. And that is, for me, a fantastic way to grow. Now, if you wanted a pot like this one, I have links down in the descriptions to this exact pot, but it was like $8 for 50 of them off Amazon. A very easy way to grow this stuff. You think about it, you could have Amazon bring you a bag of dirt and a thing of pots, and you could order some seeds from seeds.now. You would have the ability to grow microgreens for years. Really, you could. What I like to do is every morning come out to the garden, pick some microgreens, and eat them. And that way, you're connected with your garden every day. And you can do that same thing inside, which is why I really promote the idea of doing that. Go ahead and check out these links here that I'm providing here to check out the What You Got Growing On series, where I grow all of these things, so you can see how the microgreens are growing, but as well as fruit trees like the strawberry trees, star fruit trees, fig trees, mulberries, etc., which I've shown right here. You can see them all planted from seeds or cuttings and show exactly how to do that. It's really quite simple. Okay, thanks for watching Eat Your Backyard. Don't forget to click the like button if you found this to be interesting or useful. Thanks for watching.